Hello and welcome to the PC Gaming Vortex. My name is Hikaro, and this is our first episode for the game Smite. This game is actually in closed beta right now, but it is very popular. It's actually a kind of an open to closed beta due to the fact that you can actually send keys once you're in the beta to anybody you want, unlimited numbers of keys. So as you can see at the bottom left side of the screen, there is a good number of players on concurrently at any given time. Not typical of a normal closed beta. This game is actually, if you haven't heard of Smite, it's a MOBA style game, a multiplayer online battle arena style game, kind of like League of Legends, Dota, Heroes of New Earth, etc. The game's difference and what makes it set apart is it's actually a third-person control view, almost like a shooter. So instead of having that overhead view that you have in Dota, Dota 2, and Han and League of Legends, etc., you're actually going to be looking at a third-person camera, which is going to pretty much make everything a skill shot in the game. It's a little more difficult, but a lot more fun in my opinion. The game has a different feel to it, even though it's the same genre. So what we're looking at right now is this is when the bold teams is actually choosing champions. Each person on the team chooses a champion. Within Smite, the champions are all gods from different pantheons. As you can see, people like Anhur and Ares and Anubis, and there's Ra and Zeus and Odin and all the different gods from the different pantheons from history. The idea here is that you're going to go 5-on-5. The goal is to destroy your enemy's base before they destroy yours. There are 2 bases, one on either side. Each team has a base, protected by phoenixes, towers, and then the guardian, of course, being the Minotaur. There are 3 lanes connecting the bases, as you'll see as soon as we start the game, and those lanes are where you meet for battle, basically. They connect each base together. Very similar, actually almost identical to League of Legends and Heroes of New Earth and such. It's pretty much standard for this genre. Now what we were doing there is we were choosing the champions we wanted to do, and normally those are done with the type of strategy in idea. You're going to have different people teaming up against each other in lanes. For example, in left lane in this game, Guan, which is who I am playing, and my friend Gallows is playing Freya, which is a new champion as this came out. And we're going to be laning against, I believe it was Arachne, and I don't know if it was Bastet. We'll find out in a moment who we're landing against. But we're going to be pushing back and forth trying to get the advantage in that lane. So you want to have some type of a strategy. If you've got 2 squishy gods, you might have trouble. You might get pounced a lot. You might go down a lot. If you have it, in our case, we have a tank support along with a DPS type hero. That actually makes it a lot easier to push the lane and have a good composition. You also want to make sure you have someone that's considered an AD carry. That type of hero is going to be used for center lane. The center lane is usually by themselves, so it's a one-on-one against another champion, another god, and you want to make sure that that person is capable of handling their own, and it's a hero that can handle their own, has good sustainability, etc. It looks like here our mid is talking about how much they don't like the character Hell, which I'll be honest, I don't like laning against Hell either. She's quite a challenge. So right here what we're doing is in the middle of the map, they have the jungle. The jungle has different mobs that are NPCs, they're not player controlled, that have buffs. If you kill those mobs, you receive a buff for a certain amount of time. We're waiting for the mobs to spawn right here that give you the mana regeneration buff. So right at the start of the game, myself and Gallows here are going to take these harpies to get the mana regeneration buff. And as you can see, it's a bit challenging where I'm almost going to die, but I popped a potion and I make it through just fine. You just got to tank it through. That's what tanks are for. Throughout the game, these will respawn, and you'll go back in, you'll get them again, and people can test them, and they're mirrored on both sides of the map, so there are 2 sets of them. There are 2 NPCs in the jungle that are special. That's the Fire Giant and the Gold Fury. They take more than one person to take down in most cases, almost like a mini-boss, a boss of sorts. And when the Fire Giant comes down, it gives a buff to everybody on the team, whether they're there or not. And then when the Gold Fury goes down, it's the same thing. It gives you gold for everybody on the team. So they're special bosses you can take down if you have an opportunity. The idea of laning is yourself with your partner, or if you're by yourself with just yourself, is trying to keep a delicate balance with the other opponents in the lane. There are NPCs coming down called creeps or minions, and as you can see them, you wanna take them down. They give you experience and they give you gold. As you're taking them down, your opponent's looking for an opportunity to pounce on you and kill you. So it's kind of a delicate balance as you taking down minions, but keeping it at distance, going in when you see an opportunity to kill, etc. It's kind of a delicate balance, kind of a dance, so to say. As you can see, we're leveling up as we go along. Each time you level, you get to raise one of your skills. Now, unlike a normal RPG, in MOBA games, when the game is over, you reset to level 1 and all of your items are gone. So that is actually part of the strategy. Which abilities you level first, how fast you're getting experience, how many minions you've killed. All of that is part of it. It's all part of the strategy as you go along. And of course the items you buy. In a little bit we'll go back and buy items. You buy items at the beginning, but I'll go over that next time I go back to the shop here. As you can tell, it's kind of balanced. We're kind of coming back. We're kind of going forward. We're looking for openings. They're looking for openings. All it takes is one person out of position, and you can have a death. Now, what deaths in, you're going to respawn if you die, but there's multiple things going on when someone dies in this game. First of all, the person that died is not in lane any longer until you respawn. So all the experience they would have gained, all the gold they would have gained, they do not get, which puts them behind. The opponent is still in lane, gaining that experience and that gold, so that's bad. Not to mention the fact that the opponent that kills gets extra experience and gets extra gold, putting them that much further ahead. So obviously, goes without saying, dying is not a good thing. But dying in lane early game can be very bad. If you give 2-3 deaths to your opponent, it can make a big deal. Like, he's going in pretty early here. He saw an opportunity. I pushed him back and it didn't cause anything, but that could have been bad. A little later on, he's going to try that again, and it's not going to go too well for them. But it's all about the delicate dance of finding where the openings are and leveling at the same time. Guan Yu's abilities, I'll go over Guan Yu's abilities since that's who I'm playing right here. He has 5 abilities. Technically, one is a passive, which gives him more protection when he's around his own structures. So his towers, his phoenix, and his minotaur. His number 1 ability is an area of effect heal. It heals all allies in the area for a certain amount of points, a certain amount of hit points, depending on what level it is. His number 2 is a dash. He slides ahead and hits who's in front of him. His number 3 was that spinning spear one you saw earlier. It's pretty cool. Not only does it do damage per tick, but it also takes away protection from the opponent and brings it back to me. Here's that fight where they immediately regret coming in on us. So you can see the second that happened, I pounced in with my number 4 ability, and we took them both out. That was an opportunity, or that was an example of someone not taking advantage of a good opportunity there. They should not have came in right there. I had my ultimate ready, which is my number 4 ability, which does 3 pounces. The first pounce is damage, second pounce is damage and a silence, and the third pounce is damage and a stun. Along with Gallows' help there, they really didn't stand a chance. So because they're no longer in lane, we have a little bit of an opportunity to go back and pick up that mana buff again, which is good to have since it has worn off on me. So we're going to head back and we're going to do that. So that's the 4 abilities. Each god, each hero, has a different set of abilities, and that's one of the things that makes this game great. They're completely different to play. They all have different play styles. They all have different ways about them, different items you should buy, different ways you should build them, different ways you should just handle the game altogether. I mean, just with the 2 of us here, Guan Yu and Freya, completely different the way the 2 of them play. Which is beautiful. I mean, you play games like this, you're looking for variety. One day you want to play a tank, one day you want to play DPS. Possibly your playstyle is different than my playstyle, where I enjoy playing the tank support character. You might be extremely aggressive, or you might be that person that likes to, quote-unquote, hide in the shadows. There's no real shadows in this game, but there are assassin characters that are good at hiding in the jungle and coming out and just taking kills really quickly. Kali is a good example. Boxer is another good example of characters like that. the game definitely has a lot of variety. Never the same game twice, which is great. Okay, so let me explain the towers. The towers in lane, there are 2 towers per lane per side. So we have 2 on our side, and they have 2 on their side. The way the towers work is when minions come into the tower starts attacking the minions. If... Oh, looks like I went down right there. Got a little too aggressive, it happens. Looks like Frey took out one of them, and the other one got away. But that's not bad. That was a good trade-off. So the towers. Minions come into the tower area, the radius, the tower will attack the minions. If a hero comes into the tower radius, if there are friendly minions to that hero in the tower radius, it will continue to attack the minions. Unless the hero attacks an opposing god, or an opposing god attacks the hero. Then the target that the tower is targeting will immediately target that god. Towers do a lot of damage. You do not want to be targeted by a tower unless you know you're going to survive it. You can directly attack the towers, and the idea is you want to kill the towers to get further into the opponent's base. At the end of the towers, there is a phoenix. You can see the icons on the map for the phoenixes, 1 per lane, per side. The phoenixes are just like a tower. They attack minions unless the hero attacks a god or something like that. Then they'll attack that hero. If you take out the minion, or excuse me, if you take out the phoenix, the minions in that lane that you're producing will be stronger. They'll actually have flaming weapons and things like that. So they'll actually do more damage as they're going down lane, which is good. As you can see here in the game, I am catching a couple of people out of position here and taking them out. You don't want to be caught out of position. If you're at a disadvantage and somebody finds you, it's an easy death to die in those situations, so you got to be careful when you're doing that. So obviously taking out towers and then taking out the Phoenix is what you want to do, because taking out the Phoenix makes your minions stronger, puts more pressure on their side of the field, and gets you closer to the middle of their base. In the middle of their base, they have a Minotaur. The Minotaur is kind of like a boss. It's one big giant Minotaur standing in the middle of their base. If you defeat the opponent's Minotaur, you win the game. So that's all it is. It's just a tug of war, going back and forth, getting closer and closer to their Minotaur, keeping them as far away from their Minotaur as you can. That's the idea. It looks like he has called for a gank on left lane, John has. So we're all jumping on left lane, trying to take people out. I very well might die here. Nope. Gotta love being a tank. I initiated before I realized that he wasn't there yet, so almost died there, but didn't quite. If I'd have been a squishier character, if I'd have been Raw, for example, I probably would have died there. But luckily, Guan Yu is a tanky character and can take a little more damage. So the dynamics of the game is just the key to this game. It's all about team fights and staying with your team and doing what's needed for the team. So, for example, right here you can see that there are 4 of us here on my team pushing this tower, trying to get this tower down. Now an opponent shows up. My guess is we're probably going to back down. Yeah, we're going to back down. So I back down. Looks like Ares initiated there. And there he goes. He did jump on 4 of us, so that probably wasn't a good idea for him. Looks like we did lose Boom there. We lost Anher. So the itemization in the game. We'll talk about the itemization in the game. So as you can see, you're gaining gold 1 per second. It's in the lower right-hand corner below my level there. You're also gaining gold per kill, per minion kill, and if you last hit a minion, if you're the person that actually gets the killing shot on a minion, you get a little bit more gold. What these are for is the gold allows you to buy items. Items is kind of like equipment in an RPG, where you're getting things to raise your attack, raise your defense, whatever it might be. There's a large selection of items that you can get. Looks like I got jumped here. I backed off a little bit because I had focus, and he called for retreat, so we're heading back. The items make the world of difference. You want to have your items planned out before you join the game. You can make small changes when you're in the game, of course, by seeing your opponent, for example. If you're noticing they're doing a ton of damage to you, you might want to go a little more tanky, go a little more defense. If you notice they're a specific type of enemy, you might want to go for a specific type of damage. If you notice that they have a lot of crowd control, a lot of stuns, and things like that, you might want to... You might want to go for some type of an ability that allows you to break, like beads, for example, allow you to break crowd control. Itemization is the key. So when you're choosing your character and you're making your plan of what you want to do, you want to choose multiple things. You want to choose, 1, the order you're going to take your abilities as you level, and 2, what items you're going to choose on your character. So as you can see right now, I'm going through. I purchased the Void Stone. Void Stone is good damage on this character. And as you can see, I go pretty quick when I'm in there because I already know what I'm going to buy. I started out the game with something called Meditation. Meditation is an ability that you can use every couple minutes or so that allows you to get mana back. This character goes through mana like it's nothing. So it's good to have that on hand. I buy that first hand along with a few health potions, a mana potion, and boots. But as you play the game more, you'll get the hang of the itemization and you'll get the hang of it. You can always go on websites and see pre-built setups that can help you through that kind of stuff. So the game is built into, I would say, 3 phases. The first phase is just basic laning, which you saw at the beginning of the game, where it was, in our case, 2 of us against 2 of them, getting experience, getting those first initial group of levels, things like that. You're just kind of doing that tug-of-war thing in the lane, trying not to give up too much ground and trying to take as much ground as you can. After that, you're going to move, kind of come into groups, and you're going to start moving as a group, and you're going to start doing team fights. You're going to find more 3-on-3s, 4-on-4s, 5-on-5s, where these big battles are going to break out. And in the middle of those 2, you're going to have a lot of ganks going on. For example, say we're having trouble with someone, or we're just right on the edge of taking someone out, you can call for some help, have the person from middle lane come over to left lane, jump in the fight, surprise them, take them out. That would be a gank. And that happens quite a bit. Looks like somebody got jumped there. There we go again. Not going to let him get away. Took out that tower. Oh, looks like he's going to get away. Yep. Not quite enough to catch up. Don't want to chase too far because you never know what they're going to be. They could be running towards 2 of their teammates, and then all of a sudden you go from being the person that has the advantage to being the person that's absolutely going to die. So sometimes it's just good to cut your losses and break off, which is what I just did there. Better be safe than sorry. Especially since I was by myself. An ally has been slain. One of the great things about this game, and all MOBAs, is that it really is never the same game twice. Even if you play the same champion or the same god in 2 games, 3 games, 4 games, 5 games in a row, you're playing against not only different people, but you're playing against different champions, you're playing against different gods. You end up in different lanes, different situations. It's always something new. Always something to test your abilities and test your reflexes. Another big thing in this game is the idea of communication. If your team isn't communicating, you're going to have a lot of problems. I'll give you an example. Say at the beginning of the game, it's you and a friend versus 2 opponents laning against each other playing that tug-of-war. One of them disappears. All of a sudden it's 2 against 1. Well, you want to warn the rest of your team that they might be coming to gank them. So what you would do is you would call an MIA. So you would say, MIA left. That tells them that your guy is missing in action, that your opponent is gone. That way they know to be careful. They're going to be more defensive. They're not going to be as aggressive. They're not going to get caught out of position. Another good thing to do is let them know where you're attacking. So attack left, attack left, attack left. At this late part in the game, mid to late part in the game, you want to make sure that everybody's coming together, everybody's got a plan of attack, everybody's got a target. So, for example, right there, John, our Anubis, our carry, was out of mana. So he said to retreat the lane. So we kind of got someone shouting out orders here, which is good. Having one or two people giving commands or giving suggestions is good. If everybody's giving commands and suggestions, obviously it's not going to work out. But as long as the team's working together, communication is a fantastic thing. Same goes for when you're in lane. When you're in lane with somebody and the two of you are going against two opponents, you want to communicate with them the best you can. If you're about to jump in and initiate, let them know. If you're in vent, if you're in TeamSpeak, let them know you're going to jump in. If you listened early game, you would hear me and Gallows discussing that. My ultimate's ready. Are we going to go in? Let me know when you're going to go in. You know, when I see one initiate, the other one initiates, for example. That kind of stuff is important. Communication is absolutely the key. I play a lot of MMOs, as some of my viewers on my channel would know. And this game is definitely different than MMOs. MOBAs are very competitive. They're 30 to 40 minutes a game, sometimes shorter, sometimes a little longer, but on average 30 to 40 minutes a game. Once it's done, you start over. Characters reset. Very different than MMOs where you build that character over a long period of time. So what John just called out is he called out a be right back. Basically what he's doing is he's going back to base to heal, get his mana back. He's going back to purchase, kind of to recuperate. So he's letting us know that he's going to be out of the action for a minute. You always want to communicate to your team when you're leaving so that they know, for example, if it's going to be a 5-on-5, they know you're not there. They know to wait for you. Yeah, that situation, what we were discussing, is that Ares, for some reason, I don't know why he initiated on it. Was like 4 or 5 enemies there, but there was only 2 of us. He ran in. We're not exactly sure why he ran in, but lucky for him, he was able to escape with a sliver of health. But you got to be careful in those situations to not put yourself in a non-winnable situation. You never want to do that. So I looked at that buff right there, thought about getting it, but I knew there were some enemies nearby. At least I thought there were some enemies nearby, so I didn't want to take that risk, so I kept going. This game is a little bit strategy, a little bit luck, and a lot of planning. Not sure. Looks like I'm going to get this one. Yep. Another kill, caught out of position. If that person would have stayed with the rest of their team, it probably wouldn't have been that way. See, right now our whole team's kind of spread out. We're all doing our own little thing. Pretty soon, John's going to pull us all together. And once we're pulled all together, which is what you want to be doing, we'll work as a team to start pushing some lanes. Taking our entire force, walking with some friendly minions, going down lane, and pushing these towers, getting rid of the towers. Something I should mention is there are characters in the game that they almost skip the first phase of the game, which is the laning phase. They're called junglers. The idea behind those characters is instead of going into a lane, they're going to head into the jungle where the NPCs are, the middle area, and they're going to just go NPC camp to NPC camp, killing the NPCs over and over and over again, getting experience that way. The good thing about a jungler is they're on their own and you can call them between lanes. So say they're in the middle and you're having trouble on the left side. There's an enemy that's really aggressive. There's an enemy that's moving in on you, that's winning the tug of war, that's beating you in lane. You can call for a gank. Ask that jungler to come out, jump them, and give you that advantage in that fight. And that's a beautiful thing to have. Junglers are very popular. There's quite a few really good ones in this game. So that was beautiful. See, that was a good combination of teamwork right there. Ares uses ultimate ability, which jumps him up in the air, grabs everybody, and pulls them in. And then Anubis used his ground area of effect ability to just do massive damage. Killed 3 people in 1 shot. It's coordination and strategy at its best. When you're playing with friends, it's always a good thing to plan that stuff out. Don't just pick random champions. Pick champions that work well together. Give yourself a handful of stuns. Give yourself some silences. Give yourself a heal. Give yourself a good DPS ganker. Give yourself everything you need on a team build so you have an answer for everything. This team was actually really well balanced. We had a lot of good answers for what the opponents had. But team build and champion choices are important. Now, this is a bit unfortunate what's going to happen right here. I am out of mana. And my meditate is used. I am gaining mana very slowly. I'm going to try to heal him. It's not going to be enough. He's going to go down. So while we were able to kill the Gold Fury, we lost Anubis. He wasn't too happy about that, as you can see in text. Let him know I was out of mana. Not a whole lot I can do there. This is one of those situations where hindsight is 20/20. If I would have seen that I had a mana potion a little earlier in that fight, I probably could have popped it. Not sure if I could have saved him, but it was pretty close, so it is possible. But you learn as you go. So what I did right there is I recalled back. That's done using the B button. You don't want to do that when there's enemies around, because if they hit you, then it cancels it and they can jump you. But what that does is it warps you back to the base, so you can purchase, you can heal, and you can get your mana back. Because whenever you're standing on that little waterfall-looking thing, you gain your mana and your health back, and that's where you can purchase. You can also purchase when you are dead, but obviously you don't want to be dead, so that's not the way to aim for it. Okay, so we're getting closer to that point in the game where team fights are really going to start happening majorly. We've already gotten 1 deicide, which is acing the entire team, killing everybody on the team. We're going to look to push more. Gallows is buying a couple wards. Wards are items you can place different places in the map so that it shows you on the mini-map what's going on there, even if no heroes are there. Not entirely sure why Freya used her ultimate right there. Of course, I'm also not sure why that Ares went in. So this game is currently in closed beta. I'm a big fan of it. I think they're doing a fantastic job. Not only is it very polished right now, but it is a different look on the MOBA genre. It definitely has a different feel than League of Legends does and Dota does. I'm really enjoying it quite a bit. If you are someone that wants to try this game and is not in the beta yet, I have a link to our Facebook page in the description. Go ahead and jump onto the Facebook page, like the Facebook page, and send me a message over Facebook with your email address. And I will send you a beta key so you can get in and join in on the fun. Once you are in the beta, then you are free to send keys to your friends and get a group of people playing and do what we're doing here. There we go. We got him the defense buff. Now we're just kind of roaming around, picking up buffs, getting ready for the fight that is bound to happen. So it looks like we're going to push mid here. I'm waiting to catch up to heal him. There we go. Looks like we've actually got someone pushing up on the Minotaur right now. Anubis is up in the base.
Your team has destroyed a left enemy Phoenix.
And there he goes. Took out a Phoenix. Looks like someone got our tower, though. So the best way to describe this, I've said it a few times, is just a giant game of tug-of-war. You are pushing against them, they're pushing against you. You want to get as far into their base as you can without letting them get into yours. Right now we're pushing this Phoenix. Looks like we're going to get it. We're probably going to head into the base. I don't know if now's the best time to be doing this. It looks like they've got quite a... Yeah, I head out. My assumption is I probably head back in to see if I can help anybody. Yeah. I'm going to head back in to see if I can help John. Nope, too late. I was going to try to stun, but it was too late. So we're going to head out. We're going to head over and push another lane. We've definitely got the advantage here. We've got 2 of their Phoenixes down. And they have none of our Phoenixes down, although they are pushing our right lane right now. So I'm heading back to defend. You always want to keep an eye on the mini-map. Mini-map awareness is huge in this game. Know where your enemies are. If you don't know where their enemies are, assume they're coming for you. Always watch to see if they're attacking and there's no defense. Always watch to see if there's an opportunity. Always watch to see if there's a team fight coming up that you can help and you can be a part of. Always want to watch that kind of stuff. It's important to watch your mini-map at all times. So it looks like I had forgot to purchase an item, so I jumped back to grab that item. Looks like there's a battle going on mid there. I'm going to head over there. Looks like there a little bit of smack talk in the comments there. Oh, looks like John got a ward inside the enemy base. That's pretty awesome. So now we can actually see what's happening inside the enemy base. Not something that happens too commonly, but pretty funny nonetheless. So that was a good example with the opposing team using an ultimate ability, which is the number 4 ability. For really no reason. She didn't really hit anybody with it. She kind of wasted it. The ultimate ability is your number 4 ability, is the most powerful ability you're going to have. And you want to save it for times where you really can utilize it. Burning it for no reason leaves you vulnerable and leaves your team vulnerable when you're in team fights. You don't want to burn that for no reason. Looks like we're going to push lane here. Looks like we're all going to meet up here in right lane. Give it a good push. Take out the last remaining Phoenix is our goal here. A good example of different champions having different abilities for different situations. Late game, some gods can take down creep waves like they're nothing. They could just melt them like Anubis, for example. Whereas Guan Yu isn't necessarily meant to be able to do that. I have my spinning spear attack, which does pretty good, but I can't take him out nearly as fast as Guan Yu can. Being a tank support character, I need to be with my team, supporting my team, not going in by myself. Okay, so I'm going to head now. I was thinking about heading back to defend right lane, but it looks like we're just going to give it a good push. Going in on Ares. There goes Ares. As you can see, I do that healing quite a bit. Not only do I do it because it heals, but I do it because it lowers the cooldown of my number 2 and my number 3 ability, allowing me to do them faster. One of the reasons why Guan Yu takes a lot of mana. Yeah, this is... Go all the way around here to avoid getting jumped there. There were a few too many guys there, so we backed off. So the maximum level you can get inside of one of these games is level 20. Once you hit level 20, you stop gaining experience and you're maxed out. Resets every game, like I had said earlier. Level advantage, as you can see in the upper left-hand corner, depending on what you've accomplished, how many kills you've gotten, how many assists you've gotten, you can do quite a bit in the line of level differences. As you can see, Kaboom is level 20, John is level 20, myself and Gallows are level 18, and then Tornado is level 17. So the level 20 characters have a bit of an advantage. If one side's doing really poorly at the beginning of a game, you'll find that they'll be at a big disadvantage for the whole game. I'll give you an example of that. Say you get killed 3 times in lane. Well, your opponent's got 3 kills worth of extra experience. 3 kills of extra experience is a lot. So say they've got a level or 2 on you. Well, now they've got a just straight up advantage in every fight. That's kind of a scary thing. So once you've got that disadvantage going, it's not impossible to come back, especially with the help of teammates, but it's very hard. It kind of snowballs a little bit. But, I mean, sometimes you have good games, sometimes you have bad games, and that's the key. You learn from your bad games, and you savor in your good games. So it looks like we're going to go in. We're going to go for the final rush here. So we've got our whole team here, except for Gallows, which went down. And we're going to go ahead and just push in. Ares hit his defense. I'm staying back a little bit, being support. And now we're going to go after the Minotaur. And they actually sense that they're going down, and they surrender. So that's game. So thanks for joining us for episode 1 of the PC Gaming Vortex's coverage of Smite. If you have any questions about Smite, or what I did, or how I build Guan Yu, or any questions at all, leave them down in the comments. I'll be happy to answer those for you. And see you guys next time.